A big part of coaching is simply listening and asking the right questions, giving people a place where they feel safe to voice their concerns, they feel safe to voice their dreams. And very often that in itself will help people to reach their goals.
Same sort of problem I had last time we talked.
Okay.
I have a problem sleeping.
And what's going through your mind as you're tossing and turning?
Everything.
Okay. When we met last, we talked about making a list of the things that you felt you had to do the next day and see how they relate to what's really, really important to you.
Right.
When I started doing life coaching, I helped people to devise strategies that would help them to get closer to their stated goals. Sometimes I helped them to articulate their goals. I began to realize that the same issues were coming up over and over again for people. Very often we go along a different path than the one that we say we want to go along, and that there certainly was an element of self-sabotage for most people. I discovered a technique called the Emotional Freedom Technique. That's EFT for short. EFT is a tool that allows us to release negative beliefs, troublesome emotions. It utilizes what's known as meridian points, the same points that an acupuncturist would use. But we don't use needles, we use fingertips and just gently tap on those points, mostly around the face and the upper trunk. And we use that in combination with language. So we're going to start by tapping at the side of the hand. Even though I have this problem.
Even though I have this problem.
This terrible, horrific problem.
This terrible, horrific problem.
I completely love and accept myself.
I completely love and accept myself.
So that we can focus on whatever the troubling emotion is, thereby allowing it to be released, and then we can input a better choice. We can reframe the thought, we can reframe the experience so that there's a more positive outcome. I've decided that what I think my gifts are have to do with acceptance, have to do with non-judgment. When I worked with children with special needs, I learned to do that. When I worked with people from different cultures as a religious education director over the years, I learned to do that. I homeschooled all of my children and I observed their styles of learning. I learned from my family that we're all different, that you cannot change another person, you can only change yourself. You can change your response to another person's behavior, but you cannot change another person. It's a great place to be professionally and personally, to be able to just say, he is who he is. There's nothing I need to do to change him. There are ways in which I can support him as he chooses to change, if he chooses to change. There's no responsibility nor right on my part to change anybody. The types of issues that I've helped people with cover a huge range, everything from marital problems to problems with business, problems with time management. I've had several people with attention deficit disorder, help them to focus, people with insomnia, people with general anxieties, depression, people with exercise aversion, athletic performance, people who are about to go into particularly running or walking competition. I just want people to feel better so they can get on with what they want to do. People are amazing. People are miracles of creation. And every time I work with somebody, I learn something new about myself. I learn something new about people.
So what I like about the group session is that I feel that it gives me more power.
So my experience personally actually is quite limited with EFT, but one of the things that surprised me the most was how versatile it can be and the range of issues it can help with.
But lately, what I've used it for a lot is just small physical pains. If I get a headache.
I'm extremely grateful for the amount of sharing that people do with me, for the trust that they feel with me, for the amount that they're willing to trust me, to trust themselves, and for the courage that they exhibit when they decide to make changes in their lives. Doing this kind of work is a privilege. I never, ever, ever take it for granted.